Now, please subscribe. This is Russia and Ukraine fighting against the. So this is Russia fighting against Ukraine conflict. Heidi takes up arms. Let's go.
In front of every twitching net curtain there is a window, and behind every window a smartphone. In an invasion in which little escapes the invaded. This was a housing estate in the southeast of Kyiv, and the firefighters are battling the aftermath of a Russian cruise missile. No one really knows why the Russians targeted Tower Block 7 on Pashti Street. It may have been a stray, and miraculously no one was killed. But this morning the survivors were less interested in the how and more in the why us.
Что они створили, что они сделали с нашим домом?
No one had the answer. Not the old lady on the 4th floor, oblivious to the fact that her balcony was on the verge of collapse. Not the woman next door on the 7th floor, busy shoveling glass out of her living room. All of them wondering what the point of the clear-up is when this is just day 2 of an invasion that could last weeks, while holding their capital city and their president to political ransom. Are you scared?
Yeah.
You're going to stay here or leave?
Yeah.
You're going to stay here?
I live here, but I can't stay here now.
Right. Where will you go?
I don't know.
Ми живі, більше нам нічого не треба. І щоб нас більше не стріляли. Дякую. А ви були бомбосховищі?
All of them conscious that their lives are suddenly as random as this piece of debris floating towards the missile crater. Thanks to a man who's accused Ukraine of being a nation of neo-Nazis and is waging war to make the point of a lie.
Еще раз обращаюсь к военнослужащим вооруженных сил Украины. Не позволяйте неонацистам и бендеровцам использовать ваших детей, ваших жен и стариков в качестве живого щита. Берите власть в свои руки. Похоже, нам с вами будет легче договориться, чем с этой шайкой наркоманов и неонацистов, которая засела в Киеве и взяла в заложники весь украинский народ.
The madness of this war found an unforgettable image today in this scene, also filmed from many disbelieving windows. A tank skidded, running over an innocent car. And then reversed back over it. Astonishingly, the driver lived to be liberated by a neighbor's crowbar, but don't count on too many miracles. In the same district of Obolon, and madness takes many forms in a situation this unhinged. Here they were handing out automatic weapons to civilians. No questions asked, no training required. 18,000 machine guns have been given away so far. Perhaps the giveaway guns explain the chaos at the central train station. But notice how no one is running away. The need to keep their place on the platform trumps the fear of getting shot. The throng is only heading in one direction, west, away from Russia towards Poland. One Ukrainian who is staying put is President Zelensky and his band of government brothers. He lists them one by one in his favorite selfie format before the obligatory battle cry, "Glory to Ukraine."
Slava Ukraine.
They're also staying put in their new home, the metro station under the railway terminal. The citizens of Kyiv have traded the lockdowns of COVID for the subterranean lockdowns of war. Life in the bunker in 2022, as they wish the new commuters to the front line a good day at the office. Now, this is being called the biggest ground war in Europe since the Second World War. Men of fighting age are now forbidden to leave under Ukraine's mobilization order, while queues of people have formed outside recruitment offices obeying the call to come to the country's defense. Our international editor, Lindsay Hilson,
joins me now from Dnipro in the east of the country. Lindsay.
Matt, it's a cold, misty night here in Dnipro. I don't know what this poor visibility is likely to do for Russian operations tonight. What I do know is that Kharkiv, which is north of where I am, is under heavy bombardment at the moment. That is the second city. Now, Ukrainian forces are doing what they can. They are lined up, they are trying to push back the Russian advance, and they have had some successes. They have managed to destroy some vehicles. I have certainly seen evidence that they have managed to kill a few soldiers here and there. We understand that they are also blowing up bridges, blowing up the infrastructure of their own country, in the hope, at least if they can't stop this advance, at least in slowing it down. The kind of mood we have seen today is, yes, defiance, but also edged with fear, because people know that this army is massive. And yes, they are handing out weapons, and yes, they do want to fight on the streets. But what can you do against missiles? At the same time as what's happening in Kharkiv, also around the Black Sea and the Sea of Azov, we're hearing reports of an amphibious landing in Mariupol. That is not confirmed yet. But what we do know is Russians are advancing there, and that is several hours' drive south of where I am. A battle in the city of Melitopol today. That's south of here towards the Sea of Azov, an area where the Russians have been advancing fast. The building is apparently a hospital. Caught on camera on the road to Kherson further west. Why bother to dismantle the CCTV tower? Everyone knows what's happening. Russian forces are invading and occupying a democratic country. And look, a Russian armoured vehicle flying a Soviet flag. Ukrainians film the missile strikes if they dare. Tonight, at least part of Kherson is said to be in Russian hands. This woman in Kherson wasn't going to accept it. She refused to take orders from a Russian soldier.
Сейчас наш с вами разговор ни к чему не приведет.
Вы оккупанты, вы фашисты, вы пришли на нашу землю. Какого вы пришли с оружием к нам?
Here in Dnipro, we found dozens of men who normally work in IT or local government queuing at a military recruitment centre. There are scenes like this all over the country. Men between the ages of 18 right up to 60 have been called up. And the people I've been speaking to say they're determined to fight. They hate the Russians. They're united by this fierce patriotic pride. They can't stop Russian tanks or missiles, but they say they can make a Russian occupation impossible.
I joined the force of Ukraine in this city to beat the Russian aggression.
You really beat Russia, this huge army?
They can't handle it. I will shoot them.
You'll shoot them?
Yes, I will kill them in our streets.
Today, the shelling in and around Kharkiv, Ukraine's second city, intensified. It sounds terrifying. But maybe someone needed to tell this Kharkiv couple that it's not the brightest idea to stand near an unexploded rocket. On guard as the shelling gets closer. The wreckage of Russian vehicles on the outskirts of Kharkiv, evidence that Ukrainian forces are fighting back. Tonight, a fireball caused by a missile exploding in an industrial area northeast of Kharkiv, glowing in the dark like a beacon of fury and despair. Now, the other important area is in the far east on the border with Russia. I'm talking about the so-called separatist areas, which President Putin recognized as individual states the other week in his attempt to justify what he's doing at the moment. Now, the Ukrainian forces have been firing into that area, a place called Horlivka, which is on the Russian separatist side. They did apparently hit a school today. There's no evidence that anybody was killed in that. But But what that shows is that there is fighting on that side as well. And we understand that someone in the Ukrainian forces, and it's not clear who, and it's not clear whether this was an official act, actually fired and hit an airbase in Rostov on the Russian side. That wasn't officially announced, but it seems to be common knowledge on all those WhatsApp groups amongst different Ukrainian soldiers. So what you sense here is not exactly accurate, but there are different units doing different things at different times, and it's not clear how much of total control the Ukrainian military are able to have, because they are facing one of the most powerful enemies in the world. And more than that, they know that as they advance, it will become ever more difficult for them to maintain this kind of level of resistance. And that's when it will be down to these men in the streets who think they're going to fight the Russians. It's hard to see how that will really work. And it's also hard to see what tomorrow is going to bring for the people of Ukraine.
You can say that again, Lindsay. Thank you very much indeed. Well, let's speak to Kira Rudik, a Ukrainian MP who says that she is armed with a Kalashnikov rifle and will fight herself against the Russian army if she has to. Kira, thank you very much for coming on the program. When did you buy your gun? Do you know how to use it? And do you think you'll actually have to use it?
Hello. So I did not buy it. I was given it by our authorities, first as an MP and second as a member of the resistance force. I have never used a gun in my life, and even 2 days ago, before it all started, if you ask me, I would call you crazy if you would imply that I could ever use. But after you spend some time at a bomb shelter, after for 8 times during the last 2 days, we have heard sirens about the Air Force attacks. After seeing your family hiding under the stairs, you just have to do something. And so yesterday we were given the guns, and it's about 20,000 guns right now distributed between the members of the resistance in Kiev. And yesterday and today I spent my time with the team where I'm learning how to shoot. I don't want to evacuate. I don't plan to flee, because I think right now we should all do what we have to do, is fight Russian soldiers on our soil. Fight people who came from nowhere, well, we know from where, and want to take what is ours, want to take our land, want to instill some Russian pride here. And with just because they don't allow us the right to exist.